Good morning. Get the mic in. Good morning and welcome back to the One Celtic Fans View this Sunday morning. Up the Larks. Time to go for a walk in the park. Celtic take on Hearts in a few hours' time. And it's not the squad that Brendan Rodgers, it's not the squad at all that Brendan Rodgers would want to be going into such a game. A top of the table clash. When you look at the players that we're going to have to go into in the striker's position today, we're going to go in with Johnny Kenny. Will he be our number one? I think he has to be the number one. I don't think there's anyone else at Celtic that has the right to get the number one slot just now. Now, hear me out with this one. A lot of people will say, give Shin Yamada the shout. I think that Johnny Kenny's earned his place. Whatever Johnny Kenny is doing in training that Shin Yamada isn't, well, it's going to be a big day for Shin Yamada and the young boy Osmond, because one of those two will be on the bench. I've got a funny feeling that it will be Shin Yamada on the bench, so we will get to see Shin Yamada at some point today. You're in Pompeii? Wait a minute here, I need to get this comment up. Where is that? Tuning in from Pompeii. We'll be listening to the game. We'll climbing Vesuvius. You're climbing Mount Vesuvius. That's just bonkers. Fair play to you, Hugh. That's brilliant. That is absolutely brilliant. It's just poof. That's bonkers. Sorry, I'm just going through the chat now. Good morning to everyone else in the chat, but I seen that comment come up. Wow. Just blows you away sometimes, this channel. It's absolutely, I love it. So anyway, yeah, having had Karen Carter-Vickers out injured, we're now going to bring in Austin Trusty. Now, there's a question mark over Austin Trusty, because Austin Trusty isn't match game fit. Will we start with Dane Murray? In the defence alongside Liam Scales? It's a massive moment for quite a lot of players today. Let's hope we don't get any Morris Minor displays. It's forbidden. Yeah, it's true, but I mean, Brendan, in a couple of hours' time, and around about an hour and a half, we are going live again for the team coming out. And I think we're all sitting with anticipation today more than anything about the team. Like it or not, top players on the team haven't performed all season, says Big Rab. Let's not talk about negativity. Let's just talk about the players that we've got. And, you know, we had a great game on Thursday night. Johnny Kenny is certain to start today, Baz, says Eddie. Get Hartson back on loan and Emilio, and again, call him up. Engels needs to start. There's so many players that need to start the game today that have earned their right with their performance in the last game. But there's one player that you kind of feel a little bit, is he getting his real chance, or he's maybe just not at the standard of the other players? And one of them is, well, there's two players actually in the midfield. One's Paulo Bernardo and the other one's Luke McCowan. Luke McCowan comes on and changes games at times. Could this be the kind of dig-in game, or are we just going to go all in as Brendan Rodgers? It's a massive, massive game for Brendan Rodgers and Celtic today. It's, do you know, if you think that the game, with Hearts flying at the top of the table, Hearts have got a goal difference of 13. And Celtic have got a goal difference of 6. So it's a game where you're thinking, you know, Hearts have scored 19 goals this season. It could be a goals galore game, this one. And they've had 6 goals against. Celtic have only scored 11 goals in the league this season and 5 against. So you're thinking it's two teams that aren't letting in a lot of goals, but Hearts have been scoring goals for fun, it looks like, doesn't it? Celtic have obviously lost that one game. We've drawn 2. Hearts, on the other hand, have only drawn 1 game all season. Is this the game that we put Hearts right in their place in natural order? Since Hearts did come out with that comment. Natural order when it comes to the Edinburgh Derby. Is this the game where natural order comes back in? Maybe that'll come back to bite me on the bum today at the end of the game. Let's hope not. But when you look at the league table, they are sitting on 22 points. We are sitting on 17 points. Dundee United are sitting on 13 points. Falkirk are sitting on 12 points. Hibernian are sitting on 11. Motherwell on 7. Kilmarnock on 11. Rangers on 9. I mean, Rangers will be thinking, we get a win today and we can jump up into 4th place. I just hope that doesn't happen. St Mirren are sitting on 9 points. Dundee on 9 points. Aberdeen on 7. And Livingston on 6. I kind of expect Aberdeen to try to pull out the result today, but we'll wait and see. Wait and see. I doesn't really care about the other results today because it's all focusing on Celtic and what Celtic do, and we need the type of performance. Now, Johnny Kenny's been talking about, can Celtic bring back the firepower and shoot down high-flying Hearts to ignite Celtic's Premiership season and the defence of our 4-in-a-row title. Yes, Celtic are 4-in-a-row champions, but there's a bit of a crisis going on at Celtic. And I will say this when it comes to players. I don't think that I've been trying to stay away from the word crisis, but when you look at the squad that could potentially be put out today, there is a bit of a crisis in defence. Let's not lie. Having Cameron Carter-Vickers out is a big one. When you look at the Celtic team, it doesn't give you great confidence, and especially the fact that Alistair Johnston is out again. Will we see Pusey on the bench? We're going to have to see somebody on the bench. I think Dane Murray will be on the bench before Pusey. I think I have no idea why he was brought to Celtic. He was brought as backup for after Dane Murray. Will Celtic change it around? Will they take off Kieran Tierney? I don't think so. You're going to play with your strongest. Will Donovan start? Now, this is the big one. Will Colby Donovan start before Tony Ralston? Tony Ralston's got the dig for an SPFL game. He's going to kill me. And Tony Ralston does have the dig for a game like this, but who plays at the back today? Liam Scales, Austin Trusty, or Dane Murray? Kieran Tierney, Tony Ralston, or Colby Donovan? When you look at the midfield, Brendan Rodgers has got... We've got midfield players that we know now that can turn up and really turn on the style. Benji was so unlucky, playing out of position. Will Dyson might either be fit today. We'll hear from Brendan Rodgers before the game today, and we'll find out exactly what players are fit, what players aren't. Celtic could have had call back Rocky now that CV is out. I'm not sure if they would with that one. I'm not too sure if they did. Let's face it, some wanted CCV dropped. They did, didn't they, Paddy? They did, so they're getting their wish. And not that you ever want to see a player out injured, and certainly not for the length of time that he's going to be out. Because that's him out till Easter, do you know? And by then, his season is done, isn't it? It's a case of coming in and fighting for his place to try and get fit enough to maybe even just be considered for the national team, because there's not many chances that you get to go to a World Cup as a player. Cameron Carter-Vickers was definitely in contention, whether you like it or not. He was an international player for America that was in the squad, and he was in contention to go to the World Cup. Can he get fit enough? But we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see what the team is today. Meatman PLC says the game today will be either 7 goals, like a 3-4 or 4-3, or a tight 2 each. Yeah, I think it's got goals galore written on it. Any room for Inamura? No. The moment that we brought in the guy from South America, that was Inamura straight out of the team. I'd like to see Sinisalo, Donovan and Murray start. I'd love to see Sinisalo start as well, but Brendan Rodgers isn't going to change it. And you've got to admit that the goalkeeper you've got to admit that Casper made a few saves the other night that were top class. But anyway, Johnny Kenny has been talking to the media about the game today. The former Shamrock Rovers frontman has only started 2 games for Celtic, and it could be thrust into the top of the table showdown, it goes on to say, to cut Jambo's 5-point lead. After 2-1 win on Thursday against Sturm Graz, Johnny Kenny's confident that he can be the goal hero. And I'll tell you one thing, he was unlucky with the one that went past the post. If it was any further to the right, the keeper would have got his fingertips to it. It was millimetres. With the one that the keeper saved, the keeper was in the right position. There was a chance of a header that he had that you can feel that if this guy gets his first goal, I think that he could go on a run. Johnny Kenny says, 100% probably I should have had goals on Thursday night, but for my first game after a long period of time, I'm happy with the performance, but obviously I'll be looking to add goals if I get the nod. If the opportunity comes, I'll be raring to go, says the Irishman. Some of the Celtic fan base have been saying, look, he's just another Adam Ida. Well, Adam Ida scored 29 goals for us, and if Johnny Kenny comes in and scores, if Johnny Kenny even comes in and scores 10 goals this season, it will be a phenomenal return from a young player that's came through the system. And I think that before the end of the season, we could have a Johnny Kenny song. He went on to say it's a big game. I think that we need to go and show the real Celtic. We need a similar performance to Thursday night. We need to take the game to them and see what happens. Celtic bounced back after the defeat to Dundee with a fantastic performance. Let's not kid ourselves. It was a great performance. We need that kind of performance. Although there was a lull in the first half, but this is an away game. The Hearts manager has called for the Hearts fans to ramp up the atmosphere to try and scare the Celtic fans. I don't think that would affect the Celtic fans at all, considering we've played at Ibrox with no fans and still won. But you're saying that this is a different team. There's a lot of players that need to stand up and be counted today, and I think there's a lot of players that will ultimately stand up and be counted, because when you look at it, when you look at the way that, I'm going to even say it, even the way that Rio Hatate finished the game. Rio Hatate finished the game on a high. Even he was unlucky to not score. We need him to click from the start. I would even play Arne Engels from the start. His delivery from corners is sublime. Do you know, you forget about his price tag. The delivery that Arne Engels gives you from corners. David Beckham used to cross it with speed and get it to land right in the box. Arne Engels is doing the same. Do you know, Arne Engels' corners are just sublime, and when a player sees it right, and we've got the talent in the team to get the ball into the back of the net, anything's possible. Billy Gray's going to go for 3-0 or 3-1. The Jam farts. Hope I'm wrong. God, it's too early for that nonsense. Having them win, I'd cry in my cornflakes, but I'm not a serial loser. Morning Baz in the Celtic family, says Lindsay. Morning says Ian. Hopefully KT picks up from Thursday. Yeah, there's lots of positives as the sun pokes through the clouds. There's lots of positives to take from the game on Thursday, and I think that Brendan Rodgers and the manager will be looking forward to this game. The bigger question is, coming into this summer, looking after this game, and maybe we'll talk about this after the game, but the board has held us back unbelievably wise, interfering with transfers and not allowing Brendan Rodgers to get the players that he wants in. And when you look at Celtic squad, it's not in the place that it should be. We don't have the quality and backup. Do you know, we've got a small squad compared to what we've had in the past. And yes, there are players out injured. And when you take, you can say all you want. You take Jota. Alistair Johnson, Dyson Maeda, when you take Trusty out, who's just came back, when you take Cameron Carter-Vickers out, I mean, that's 5 first-team starters. That's 5 first-team players that, apart from Trusty, I mean, they would have started under Ange. Do you know? And they'd have been. They are fantastic players for Celtic. The more players that make the World Cup, the more cash we get from FIFA. Let's hope it does. Results against Hearts and Killie and get something at Crumbledome. Crumbledome would be a bit for somebody. It's at Hampden and it's a cup game. It's not at Crumbledome, it's at Hampden. And it's a cup game. CCV career might be over and night play for Celtic again. Paul Beard, you just stole my thunder with that one. As I'm trying to dodge the sun. Put that, I'll do it later. I think that there has to be questions now over the fact that Cameron Carter-Vickers has been injured so many times when it comes to... The sun's right in my face, isn't it? Cameron Carter-Vickers has been injured so many times throughout his Celtic career. You know, we paid good money for him, $6 million, and it was worth it for what the service that we've had out of him. But he's been injured too many times at the start of the season. He's been injured I'm going to sit back a bit. He's been injured far too many times at the beginning of the season. And I know that it's only October, and that's him ruled out again. How many times has he... And not that he's cost us, but how many times has he not made European campaigns? And we've not had good enough level, Europa League level player. I mean, it's a massive, massive time for Dane Murray. I think if Dane Murray comes in and plays to the level that we know that he can, and people will look back to the Aston Villa game where he slipped in the box, Dane Murray slips in the box and it gives away a goal. But at that point, when Dane Murray slipped, he also fucking, with anger, showed his anger on the pitch at the fact that he slipped. Do you know, he took a lot from that one little mistake. And sometimes that one little mistake can go on to bring out the best in players. And I think that the fact that Kenny didn't come through the system, well, he didn't come through the system, but he was brought in at 17-year-old or something. Do you know what I mean? I mean, it's as good as this came through the system. He was put back out on loan. But I know this, James. Kenny's movement Thursday was excellent. Something we've been missing. Yes, exactly. Hearts for the title, not a chance. Hearts will splutter and cough. Hearts, Braga, Charlton score. What? Who cares? We've got a load of jammed Hearts in here this morning. McLean, the ref, is a bear. Don't care. It doesn't matter. Scales to be man of the match today. Scales is a player that's grown on us. I mean, he's not grown on a lot of people, but he still has that little mistake in him. You can't deny it. I mean, he loves a grab of the jumper, Scales, and the odd foul. But it seems to be not as frequent as it was last season. Eddie says that CCV's done. Really think it's Trusty's chance. Trusty's chance. I don't think that CCV's done, but I think going forward, there's been too many times. If you want to have a settled back line, there gets to a point in every Celtic's player's career where whoever's managing Celtic next year, whoever comes in, will look at each individual player over the summer, but he'll also have an idea, hopefully beforehand, because hopefully that whoever Celtic have as manager next season, Celtic speak to them before the end of the season. Don't wait to the summer, Celtic. Don't wait to the summer. If we are to get a new manager next season, hopefully they will have started talks before. The noise was there for Ange for weeks about the Spurs game, about the Spurs job. And yes, Spurs knocked back manager after manager after manager before they went to Ange, or managers knocked them back. But hopefully Celtic have been in the background letting agents of managers know that there's an interest there, so that the manager can actually, so the potential manager can potentially look at the squad and look over the season, look at players that have been injured, and hopefully it's a manager that doesn't fucking just look at stats. Sits down with fucking laptop fucking Strachan and this is the stats of the players, man. Can't sound like that. Not fucking like this. But anyway, do you think we should bribe Braga from Hearts in January? No. Anyone sent off the money? My money's on Scales. The ref's a hunt. I don't think Scales. If Scales is giving her a straight red, it wouldn't surprise me. But anyway, right. What time is it? It's 20 past 9 in the morning. I'm going live in just over an hour's time. When the team news will come out. Should be talking to possible managers now. It's not the way that it works though, Paul, is it? Is it too early? Like I've said before, you could have a manager that you're talking to now, and he could go on to have an absolutely friggin' terrible season. And then you're thinking, well, he's not the guy that we want. Do you know, you could be talking to a manager just now and say he gets a team relegated. Do you know, it's only October. So I think that there obviously will be a list of possible candidates. Do you know, if Celtic aren't looking at that already, if there isn't someone at Celtic looking at a potential list. I mean, I believe that Ange had been watched by Celtic for a couple of years, or he'd been on a list. But I still think that, yes, look at the list, but don't enter into Celtic. It's not Celtic style. Celtic won't enter into any kind of formal talks at this moment. Pope Leo is in the house this morning. He's going for 3-1 Celtic and 2 red cards for Hearts. Brendan will be here for next season, Bad's confident. Says Eddie. There'd have to be massive changes at the club for Brendan. Robbie Keane, I'll keep saying it, says the Mute Man PLC. If it's Robbie Keane, God. Anyway, that's enough of that talk today, because it is all about Celtic away to Hearts. Cameron Carter-Vickers, excuse me, is out injured. Once we come back in an hour and 8 minutes time, we can talk about potential score lines for the day, because I think it's going to be, I've got a funny feeling it's going to be a high scoring game today, and it's going to be one that's going to have us on the edge of our seats. Catherine Rebel says, hoping 2-0 up at half time. Sorry for the negative, says Billy Gray. Wish we had Lubo. Whatever happened to the fact, can you remember years ago, Celtic made an announcement that Lubo was going to be a scout for Celtic in that part of the world? Nothing ever come of that, did it? And I think that's devastating. And that has to come within the club. There's obviously been issues within the club where they've never followed up with that kind of thing. I don't know. Anyway, that is me done and dusted for this morning. There's not sort of big news to talk about other than the fact that Iniecho injured. Let's not even talk about the negativity. Let's try and keep it as positive as we can. Let's keep it as positive as we can as we go into the ground that I hated. I used to love going to it, because when you walk under the tunnel going to Time Castle, and then you walk up past the old school, and you're heading round, and then you've got about 5 rows of police just to get into the ground, and then you've got another couple of rows of police once you get through the turnstile. It's phenomenal. The fact that we've only got 650 fans going to Time Castle will make it spicy for the fans that are going there. Fuck Hearts and their shitey little allocation. Anyway, on that note, I'll see you in about an hour's time. Have a fantastic day, Celtic fan. I'm going to shut that down a bit so I can see, because I'm getting blinded by the sun.